Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. That's right. We do need audience participation today, and we'll be explaining all of it. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to Oasis 4 to host these boomers here, because truly we are all in this together. So I want to introduce Ann Cosma. Yeah, that's her. She's going to come up. You know her. She works at Flipgrid now. You know her as a TOSA. You know her as just someone awesome. And she's going to give you the backstory on booms. And here she is.
But first, we got to take a selfie.
Oh, yeah, you're in it.
Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. All right. If I forget my phone, will you remind me that it's here? Okay.
Don't forget about your phone.
Hey, Bill, there's one in every crowd. Today it's you, right? Good morning, Q19. We are so excited that you are here at 8:30 on a Friday morning for what we call Q Boom 3-minute mic drops. Who heard of Q Boom last year? If you were in the room last year, you know a few things about Q Boom. It needs to be loud. Are you ready for this? In high school, I was voted most humorous. And I think it's kind of funny that some people think I look like Melissa McCarthy. Thanks for that. But in junior high, I was voted most likely to explode. So I think it's super fitting that they let me do a session called Q Boom, because I'm hoping Oasis 4 is not too big and this room will be exploding with excitement in the next few minutes. So in case you don't know the story of Q Boom, it all started over a plate of barbecue. Really. Kim Vogie, that's for you, the meat sweats, right? Edu Meats, you guys know John Carippo, right? Yeah, you know John Carippo loves his barbecue. So at ISTE 2017 in San Antonio, we went on a barbecue march for about 14 miles to get to the restaurant he wanted to eat barbecue at. And while we were sitting there, a bunch of us had this idea. Let's do an Ignite style session, rapid fire, folks get up and share their heart out. We couldn't call it Ignite, so we called it Boom, because what do we say all the time when those brain zings happen? Boom, right? And last year, Q boomed, and it boomed loudly. Some of you were in the room. Some of you remember what happened at the end of Q Boom. She remembers. See the shadow the fire marshal came and shut us down. So John Carippo put us in this great big room today, and you're here. And we have had an incredible journey from that very first barbecue, meat, brain zing, ideation of the very first Q Boom to today. The orange vest came. We boomed on a boat this summer. We boomed at Fall Q on Sunday morning. And at Fall Q 2018, we had the first ever Q Kid Boom. And the kids are coming tomorrow for a whole other round of Q Kid Boom. But that brings us back to today and you being here in the room for what's about to go down. So let me give you some rules. A Q Boom is a 3-minute mic drop. It's meant to be where you listen to speakers who share their heart out. They were allowed to pick their topics, and they were given some rules. These are the 9 folks. Let's give them a hand already, because they're here, and they're ready to boom. So these are the rules of Q Boom. The first rule of Q Boom is you talk about Q Boom, right? You tweet about Q Boom with the hashtag Q Boom. But folks, our speakers were told they can have up to 3 minutes. There's a giant timer right here that you might not see, but there is a minute countdown that our 9 speakers are going to pay attention to. They were told they can use up to 9 slides to share about their topic. They were also told no audio and no video. I was waiting for Bill Selleck to make a peanut gallery comment, but not this year, huh? Not this year? And they were told to go for it and have fun, all right? But we need you to know a few things as well, and this is what the audience needs to know. Friends, giving a 3-minute talk is really hard. It's kind of intimidating, and the time goes very fast. So we need your energy, which is why we encouraged and invited and celebrated all of you who came up to the front, because we want you to get loud. If you hear something that you like, let the room know. Shout, whistle, holler, tweet, whatever you want to do. If you feel led to dance, dance, right? But please let the room know. And when the speaker finishes, we need you to say, guess what? Boom! So are you ready? Are you ready? Get set? Hey guys, I already messed up because I clicked this too soon. I was supposed to click like, are you ready, get set, boom. So I've already messed up. If you mess up, just keep going, okay? Are you ready? I have my phone, I didn't forget. Get set, boom! Have fun.
How are we doing this morning? You are better than that. How are we doing this morning? My name is Kyle Anderson. I'm a special education teacher in Carson City, Nevada. Where's my special education people at? Woo! I want to talk to you a little bit about something today that you may not think much about as an educator. And that's something called branding. We see this absolutely everywhere. Commercials, jingles, slogans. We see it everywhere. It's on social media. It's in your ear all the time. Like this one. If you don't know this one, let me introduce you to something called Nike. And their slogan, just do it. Now this next one, I'm gonna need a little help with you on this one. We know this one. I want you to sing along with me when you see this one. Are we ready? Ba-da-da-da-da! I'm loving it. Very good, Ann. Very good, Ann. So those are the obvious ones. Now, if corporations can do this, sports stars do this, musicians do this, Instagram models do this, I still don't understand that one, Instagram model. Because what if Instagram disappears? Are you still a model at that point? I don't know. But if all those people can do it, why can't we and why can't our students do it too? Let me tell you a quick story about someone you probably know. In fact, he may be in this room right now. This man started out as a journalist. Then he moved on to become a Spanish teacher. And then now, he's inspiring people all over the world through his Ditch That Textbook brand. A little buddy that I like to call Matt Miller. And I have been mistaken for being him before somehow too, even though I'm 6 inches taller and way bigger. Don't know how that happened. So Matt, if you're here, I love you, brother. I took this idea and I've built my own brand. A few years ago, I started a blog. I called it Anderson EdTech. Now I go to conferences, and I don't have my badge on me right now, but people see my name, say, I recognize your name. I don't recognize your face, though. I hold up that little sticker right there. Oh, that's who you are. I get it now. But I also started with my friend Ben Dixon. Ben's over here right now. We started a podcast called the Beer EDU Podcast. We took the conversations that you have at the bar with your friends about education when you say you're going to go and not talk about work. We just recorded it. We recorded it, and now we have a podcast. So check us out. It's a lot of fun. The point being, though, every single person in here, all of you and your students, have something valuable to share. And it is worthy of us seeing, and it's worthy of us hearing. So what you need to do today, you need to start thinking about blogs, about social media, about stickers, about all these different things that you can do to advertise yourself and the stuff that your students are doing as well. So what I want you to do today after this, I want you to take this, I want you to go build your brand, and I want you to conquer the world. And with that, we all say, boom!
Which hand? Which hand? Good morning. I'm Linda Berger. I teach in Santa Clara, California. And I was wondering the other day, what drives deep, true, impactful learning? I have a class this year crazy about space travel, so I started reading the book The Martian. And yes, I read the clean version so we don't drop the F-bombs in the class. The next thing I know, I get an email from my student, Manorath. He started building a slideshow, and that slideshow was titled Life on Mars. He wanted to make sure if he could make it happen. And I believe, mark my words, he will succeed. Even though he just dropped it on me, he's going to be an NBA player before he becomes an astronaut. I believe his boundless curiosity and the optimism of a 10-year-old will take him there. This made me wonder, what really is impactful with innovation? How do people make things happen that have never been done before? In my class, curiosity permeates everything. We used it to help Augie discover friendship strategies in wonder. We used it to have people think about how to design food using their senses. We used it to talk about how Native Americans use local resources to impact their lives. And we used it to coach each other to discover their own next steps. Curiosity is the student-driven fuel that provides endless hours of hope, wonder, engagement, and growth. This took me back to a year ago when I had a conversation with John Warnick, one of the co-founders of Adobe. I asked him, nobody ever wants to plop themselves next to God, so I did. And I asked him what he saw in employees years ago that he doesn't see today, and how we could go ahead and facilitate that in our classroom. He said one word. Guess what it was? Curiosity. He said he was curious if he could make his computer talk to his printer, and we know how that story ended. I believe that curiosity, it occurred to me, is the student-driven fuel. He goes, innovation fosters factors beyond a power cord. And that curiosity is what provides that itch that needs to be scratched, and really prompts us to go further down the path. Ramsey Musallam tells us to be cultivators of curiosity. We have the honor to do that in our classrooms. It is such a gift to be curious. We can go ahead and foster that in ways that nobody else ever could for our students. I want to see how we can take that curiosity and give all students the same opportunities that Manorath in his classrooms have for potential and possibilities. So who's with me? Who can take that curiosity and really make a change in the world? And that's...
Mugging. How do I use this? I'm so scared. Is this it? That's it. Okay, that got it. Is this on? Okay. Yeah! That's me. Okay. My apologies to friends of prose, but you're about to hear a boom in verse. A love letter by this fabulous friend of Dorothy to my first love, to the closets we hide in, the closets we are kept in, and the closets we by compassion tear open. For 12 years, I left that data machine shook with perfect grades and perfect scores. In my junior year, I fell foolishly in first love with my best friend, conflating kindness and sweetness and generosity with romance. It was with you that I was radically myself, but only when people couldn't see or hear. Before you, I knew neither love nor the primal scream of panic attacks, the frigid paralysis of knowing you have no control. Wow, lost my place. The frigid paralysis of knowing you have no control. I loved you and you said no with shame, with fear, so your no, your shame, your fear became mine. A master class in self-rejection, self-erasure, and never being enough. I learned this anxiety well, would wipe my face clean to make myself presentable for class. How soothing to forget, to be forgotten, to walk into a space where your you is invisible, where nothing else matters, you are just your grades and your scores. But it wears you down when you split yourself in two, your school self, your person self. You are not yours, since neither feels complete, worthy, alive. Friend, thank you for spurning me. Your rejection was the gift of a flood, of a pounding on a door, of coming to terms with the person I am and the person I was meant to be. It taught me to love who I am, to love who I love, and to find power in otherness. Yet, it isn't until we are liberated enough to know, to name who we are, that we can be the people who need us the most. I'm going to start again. Yet it isn't until we are liberated enough to know, to name who we are, that we can be who we need to be for ourselves and for the people who need us the most. The bursting open of our oppressive closet doors must be a daily exercise in empowerment, so out I go. Anxiety and depression are the friends who tell me daily that I am wretched and I am imperfect. I am the brown son of 2 Filipino immigrants from the mountains in the city. I am gay, I am gay, I am gay, I am gay. Words flutter out, cascades of butterflies, ciphers to who I am. Now think about the kids sitting in your rooms, waiting to find themselves, to be found. See your kids, let them know their stories matter. Ask yourselves, which stories am I teaching, am I forcing, am I subjugating or negating? And let those stories unfold. And to my friends, I see you. I see your grief, your instability, your PTSD, your blossoming mangled words, your beautiful stubborn refusal to be toxically masculine. All that has guided our 3 years of work together. In your books, in your conversations, in every corner of your room, in every corner of your room, tell your kids stories so they know they are here and they are real. Let your kids fall in love with themselves, their true selves, their authentic selves, so they can see themselves honestly. Fall in love with the world, being whole, being complete. Boom!
That was amazing. How can I follow that? Tears in my eyes. Come on. That was amazing. The green button. All right. There I am. That's me. I'm Corey. How are you? Good morning. And I'm going to tell you a little story. A few months ago, I had to clean out my garage. And anyone that's ever done that, you know you come across things. Sometimes they're gems. And sometimes you find some skeletons that you want to hide in your closet. Now, a word of caution. If you get queasy, get scared easily, have small children, time to avert your eyes, because I'm going to show you what I found. That. And my first thought was, who the heck put their behavior chart into my teacher box? And then I realized that someone was me. And I had a choice to make. I could either hide it, lock it away so no one knew my little secret, or I could share it in hopes to help others. Now, I don't know about you, but if this was in the front of our sessions today, I would be on purple as soon as I walk in the door. This was too bad not to share. So I took it to social media. An amazing thing, amazing things started to happen. People started sharing, talking, discussing things about kids. I believe that this truth-telling unlocks people, and that's why I share, and I share hard. I share the good, the bad, the ugly. Another amazing thing started to happen. It was quite fascinating. People started to defend their practice. Kids don't mind this. It doesn't affect them. Really? Who are we to know what's going on in children's hearts and children's minds? So I'm back in the classroom this year, and don't think I didn't want to put that behavior chart up the second day of school. But I didn't, because I now know better. So instead, I talked with my kids. And this is what I heard. A majority of my students were afraid of being bad and scared of being in trouble. And my heart broke. Let me tell you this, as an adult, I was shushed in a staff meeting. And this is what happened. I literally wilted. Not only was I embarrassed, but I did not hear one other sound the rest of that afternoon except that really loud shush. That's me as an adult, and I used to do that to kids. So now I believe in this. This is my mantra. You do the best you can until you know better, and when you know better, what do you have to do? You have to do better. You have to do better for kids. And how do you do that? We must be brutally honest practitioners of self-reflection in order to grow. For me, that's taking myself out of the equation. This education gig is not about me. Who's it about? It's about those kids. So this is how I reflected. I like to write. So I grabbed the only thing that I had on an airplane was a barf bag. This is just a small list of my know better, do better. And again, I took it to social media, and amazing things started to happen. People started to share their know better, do better practices. And the same things kept showing up. Reading logs, homework, behavior charts, time math tests. We know better. We now need to do better. And I realized that what I thought was a skeleton in my closet turned out to be a gem. So my call to action is this. After you reflect, we need to assess. What can we keep? What can we tweak? What can we throw away? And here's the do better part, research. Let me tell you folks, if you're in this room right now, if you're in this conference, this is what you're doing. You're seeking to do better. And with that, we need to redo, and redo. And through the whole process, please, please, please reach others because our truths connect us. And our bad truths connect us even more. And above all else, I'd like you to know better, to do better for kids. With that, boom! I did this. Don't press that one.
Don't press that?
Yeah, okay, press the green one.
The green one. All right, hey, everybody. Oh, hey, everybody. All right. I am Brent Coley, an elementary principal. There we go. We got some of my peeps here. And today I want to talk about the power of sharing, a power that every single person in this room possesses. And I want to do that by sharing a story with you. When I was teaching 5th grade, I used to create what I called math review videos. I would take a tablet, an InterWrite tablet, remember those before iPads? And I would take certain math problems, like rounding fractions, and I would basically do the problems and talk about how I would do those. I then took the videos, posted them on my classroom website at mrcoley.com, and then onto YouTube. So if kids got stuck during doing their homework that night, they could watch the video to hopefully get unstuck. Or if they were absent, they could watch the video to show them what they missed. Now, this is 8 or 9 years ago. Fast forward to 3 months ago, I get an email from YouTube saying, Brent, you've got a comment on that rounding fractions video. This is what it said. It's from a young man somewhere in the world. I'm really grateful for this video because I was really bad at this at school and I would cry every single day because I thought I was the dumbest person in the world. I'm going to get all emotional. Not even my teachers could explain it to me, but even if they did, I would not get it. But your vid helped so much, and now I can think I'm smart again. Now I can think I'm smart again. This is not about me. I shared a simple video on YouTube, and a young man somewhere in the world who I will probably never meet feels smart again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to drop some truth on you. Are you ready? Get ready. Right now, somebody in the world is online, like Kyle was saying, searching for what you have. Let that sink in for a second. 7 billion people in the world. Right now, one of them is on their tablet, smartphone, computer, looking for what you have. You've done it. I've done it. Google, YouTube, Pinterest. Teachers pay teachers. Are we sharing? Are we sharing? I know what some of you are thinking. Ooh, not me, Brent. I don't have anything to share. You know what I have to say about that? That's a big, fat, hairy lie. Every single person in this room has something to share. It might be a graphic organizer that you created. It might be an art project. It might be something as simple as an encouraging quote that could lift somebody's spirits when they're having a rough day. So I leave you with this question. What can you share? Do not believe the lie that you have nothing to share. Choose one of these social media platforms. Heck, start in the teacher's lounge. Because somebody is looking for what you have. Somebody needs what you have, and you never know. Somebody may be waiting for you to make them feel smart again. And with that, ooh.
Hello, good morning. All right, so I don't use a clicker very often in math class, but I'm going to use a clicker now, so I hope I'm good with this clicker. All right, I'm Kristen Morales. I'm from Temecula, California, and I'm going to get started with my boom. The title of this session, Falsely Accused, I'm Not Good at Math. So I have a question for you. Is being able to do long division in your head with decimals quickly, does that make you good at math? Not. Math is a broad, creative, visual subject. And so I want to tell you a little story. I was at a Q event, and one of our Q leaders was saying we had 140 Q events last year, and that's a Q event about every other day. And then he paused, and I could see the wheels in his head spinning. He was trying to do long division with decimals in his head, and he couldn't do it. And then he said, I'm not good at math. And I said to myself, what? What are you talking about? Yes, you are good at math. An answer of every other day, every 2 days, is pretty darn close. And if you actually do the math, and yeah, I used a calculator to do the math, right? You had good number sense, right? He was very close. And you know what? Kids with good number sense, those are your best math students. And, people are embarrassed to say they can't read. So why is it okay to say, I'm not good at math? Furthermore, what kind of instruction leads kids to believe that they're not good at math? Math is not arithmetic. It's not about speed either. It would be like saying grammar is literature. And for all you English teachers in the house, I'm sure you know grammar is not literature. Come on, arithmetic is not mathematics. And some of the most important mathematicians who have won the Fields medals, they didn't do math quickly in their heads. They were deep thinkers. And the first woman to get the Fields medal, she asked questions that had never been asked before. And most of her work was based on visual patterns, right? On the surface areas and volumes of things involved very little numbers, but instead pictures and visuals. So math is really about pattern finding. And the arithmetic and the symbolic representation are just the mechanics to help kids and people understand the world around them. So let's stop killing math, right? Let's let kids explore and wonder and notice. Let's develop number sense and investigate why things work. Let's use math to explain the world around us and realize everyone is good at math. Everyone is a math person. Boom.
Thank you. All right, big green button. All right, I am Robert Wachtel Pronovost, and this is my 7-month-old that I've been now away from for the longest time ever. And I am a maker. All right, actually, let me back up. Corporate script, stylized fonts. All right. I am Robert Wachtel Pronovost, and I am a maker. Now, if you've been following the maker movement, maker education, maker spaces over the past decade, you will have seen a shift. It's a shift from out-of-the-box creative thinking to literally in the box. Literally, you can go to a lot of vendors, some that are even in the exhibit halls, and buy a makerspace in a box with prescripted directions, one single use repeated use, but one single way to do it. And that's really not what education is about. It works if you're trying to build a picture-perfect makerspace, and this is my picture-perfect makerspace that I built, and it was picture-perfect because kids had never been in there. Once kids got in there, it was not picture-perfect, and I realized that the kits that I had picked out were only good for about 10 minutes. Then the kids got through that, then they needed something else because it wasn't challenging their thinking, it wasn't developing their creativity. What is more important than the what you get in your makerspace and the where you are building your makerspace is the why. The creating curiosity, the developing the ability to create and recreate, to have kids understand that they can take something apart and recreate and develop their own solutions. Now, this is not to say that kits are bad. There are some great kits out there, Lego, Erector, Make Do, that kids can create open-ended. They can create and recreate with these materials. And with that, they can turn any space into a makerspace and any material into maker material. This is a project that we did in Redwood City called Cardboard City that's literally in an old courtroom, happens to be where they filmed Mrs. Doubtfire. And they literally, with tape, make do, and cardboard, created an entire cardboard city. These were even kids who had never met each other. They were just... So with that, I want to challenge everybody in here to consider yourself a maker, your kids makers, and know that it's not about maker kits, it's about a maker mindset. Yeah. Boom.
We were instructed to go down those stairs. Bill said he's going to push me. All right, so, hi. So my name is Lisa Nowakowski, and I am from King City. And if any of you were on Twitter yesterday, you realized I was actually stuck in King City for a while yesterday. All right, so relationships in our classrooms, that's what we do as educators. We build relationships with our students. We know that is the key foundation for what we need to do in our classrooms. So this is a student, her name is Lily. She was in my classroom, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. Yeah, I've been teaching that long. Recently, I received this message from her about being such an influence in her life. Now, we had written back and forth after she had moved, and so I knew that I was an influence in her life, so that wasn't a big surprise. But to have her find me after almost 15 years was kind of a thrill, and I had a little tear in my eye, and I was excited. So again, connecting with our students has a lasting impact. It's not just when they're in our classrooms, but it's when they're out of our classrooms and they come back and visit us. And if you're a 5th grade teacher and they go to 6th grade and, they kind of come back and then they stop coming back in 7th and 8th grade. This is a different story. Her name is Chantel. I knew her when she was in 2nd grade. This is what she looked like, sweet girl, a lot of troubles. This is her today. She's a 27-year-old woman who is struggling with her own issues. She has a lot of addictions. She has a lot of problems, and she struggles through them. However, she reached out to me a few years ago, again on Facebook, and connected with me and said, "You are the only teacher that I ever trusted." She trusts me so much that she came to me, and we met recently during one of her clean phases, and she gave me a folder filled with her poetry. This is one of her poems. She gave me full permission to do this today. She is the reason why I am standing here today. She is my inspiration. So it's the little things that you can do to build those relationships with your kids. Smile at them, greet them at the door. My kids love that. Give them a fist bump or a high five when they're do something great, or when they're leaving your classroom. Oh my God, I don't have that much time left. Go to their sports events. And most importantly, listen to them. What are they saying? Sometimes they say it in the most obnoxious ways, but they're telling us something, so we need to listen. And those connections are great, but we're not going to connect with every student every day, and I give you permission to say that's okay. We're not going to connect with every student every day, because like there are many stars in the sky, our students are going to have many teachers, and so somebody will connect with them. And I leave you with this. How are you going to connect with your students? What lasting impact are you going to have on your students? And with that, boom! I'm going down those stairs.
Going down this way?
No, I'm going to go down that way.
Go that way.
Yes, you threatened me.
They're supposed to go down that way. Hey, everybody. Oh, sorry, I have to do that anyway. Hey, everybody. So, I have a big box of cables at home that I never use. And so does Joe Ayala. And I'm guessing so does everybody else in here. At work, I also have a giant box of cables that I never use. Now, I've been at Hillbrook for 5 years. I inherited this box, and I still have not used a single cable in this box. And this got me thinking, there are things that I hang on to that I don't need to hang on to that are the big boxes, right? What are these intangible things that we hang on to that we can't let go of? But more interesting, what are the intangible things in our teaching, in our schools, in our pedagogy that have never even occurred to us? It's like we have these invisible habits that are controlling us. It's these assumptions that we keep making about what school should or shouldn't be, what classrooms can and can't look like. Now, some rules can be bent, some can be broken. If we start to figure out which rules we can bend, then we're really going to be able to start changing what's possible in education. But it didn't start that way for me. My first few years teaching, all of my desks were in a row, all my chairs were in a great line. Why? Because that's how we've always done it. That's a bad reason to do something. But I actually started doing some research and found out this is not what's best for students. I was going on autopilot, doing things because I thought we had to do them a certain way. Now, if we can start to change these rules, then we're really, really going to be onto something. I have two strategies for you. The first one is called habit stacking. Please steal this. It's from the book Atomic Habits. The idea is you take something you want to do, so maybe it's more flexible seating, maybe it's getting rid of multiple choice tests, or the lecture, whatever. Corey listed a whole bunch of things, time tests. Pick your thing, and then you're going to attach it to something you already do. So for me, I started very simply. I want to check my mailbox more at school. So when I get coffee, I will check my mailbox every time. For you, maybe it's documenting student work, right? So anytime a student takes out a device, you take out a device. Habit stacking. The second thing is that we behave like people around us. So this is from Q16. A bunch of us got together and decided, you want to be fun before the closing keynote in this very room? Flying shark race. Now, that didn't feel wacky or zany because whatever you're surrounded by feels normal, right? So if you want to have wacky, zany ideas in your classroom, hang out with wacky, zany ideas. So this chance at this conference in this room, the next couple days, this is your opportunity to find wacky people, amazing people, inspiring people. Go to their sessions, take notes, have conversations, have food and drinks, hang out with them, spend time with them. Because this, right now, is your opportunity to make awesome your new normal. Boom! Yeah, we can do a little dance? Yeah. I want to not dance.
I told him to stay up here with me.
I did.
Making wacky, zany, your new normal. Does that sound rad?
Yes.
Yeah. And what was the last line?
Boom.
Thank you so much for coming out on a Friday morning. I need to say thank you to 9 incredible educators and my friends who said yes to this opportunity. who said yes to coming and sharing about your passion, something that drives every single one of you. Thank you for getting up here and dropping the mic and sharing your heart out. Thank you to every single one of you who came here. Fire marshal didn't come this year. Didn't come into the room this year, and I told them I would not literally drop the mic, but we need to say it one more time on the count of 3. The word is 1, 2, 3, boom! Hey, you guys, would you come up? Hey, guys.